Getting to know your audience will make your presentation relevant and engaging more than ever before, and that will allow you to move your audience toward your presentation goal. Now, there are two things that you need to know about your audience. The first is to find out what their needs and problems are in relation to your topic. And the second is to find out where they currently stand in relation to your topic. Now, that's easier than you might think. So let's start with their needs and problems. Needs are things people want you to help them achieve, and problems are things they want you to solve or remove. Now, you can assume a lot about an audience by their role. Each role will have a set of needs and problems related to your presentation topic. For example, managers in your audience will have different needs and problems compared to, say, technicians. Other roles that you might come up with might be whether people are married or single, or male versus female. It all depends on your presentation topic, but it will become clear as you start to think it through. Now, these are fairly safe assumptions to make, but you can take it one step further. You can ask people directly. For example, if your presentation is to customers on improving customer service, you could actually call some of your customers and ask them what could be improved, and then listen carefully for needs and problems. Now, the second thing you need to get to know about your audience is understanding where they currently stand in relation to your presentation topic. There are three parts to this. The first is, what do they currently think about your topic? The second is, how do they currently feel about your topic? And what are they currently doing about your topic is the third one. So in our fitness example, your answers might be something like this. They think that fitness is important, but they don't really have time. They feel overwhelmed and demotivated. And what are they doing? Well, they're doing nothing because it's too daunting to get started. Next, answer the exact same questions, but with the way you want them to think, feel, and do to achieve your presentation goal. So using the same example, you might want them to answer like this. They think, fitness is possible. I now have time and I've got a plan. They feel inspired and excited. And what are they doing? Well, they're signing up at your gym for a trial program. That's your presentation goal. Now, the gap between where they currently stand and where you want them to be will help you decide what to present to them. When you do this, you'll become immediately relevant and engaging. Now that you know your audience's needs and problems, and you know what you want them to think, feel, and do, how do you actually use this in your presentation? Well, a great example is when Steve Jobs introduced the first iPhone. It was a landmark presentation that made millions of people think, feel, and do things differently. At a time when every smartphone had a small screen and a keyboard and a stylus, his goal was to convince us that a smartphone didn't need a stylus or keyboard buttons. But rather than just show us the new iPhone and try to convince us it was better, he appealed to our interests first. He knew we wanted bigger screens. He also knew that using a stylus for every action could actually be kind of frustrating. And he knew we were all using phones with physical keyboards and difficult software. He knew what we were thinking, feeling, and doing. So, once he verbalised where we currently stood, he was then able to unveil the new iPhone and show us what we should be thinking, feeling, and doing. A phone with a big screen that you could touch with your finger, and it was a delight to use. What happened? Well, millions of people around the world were instantly persuaded to think they needed an iPhone, to feel a really strong desire to own one, and what they actually did was to place advance orders. His presentation goal was achieved 100%. Now, it's time for you to go and get started getting to know your audience. Use the steps we've outlined and see what you come up with.